Hey everybody, we're back on Rising Nomad. I've got Shaun here today, and we're going to talk about why leaving Koh Phangan, the island here, is a bad idea. Why it might be a mistake, and how I recently went 2 months in Europe where I slept in 30 or 40 different places. So how you doing? How you been?
Good, man. So I've just managed to book my flight out of Koh Phangan, and it was so hard to do. It's so hard to leave this island, and it's not just me saying that. It seems that a lot of people struggle to leave Koh Phangan. And in fact, you know, when you tell people that you're leaving Koh Phangan, one of the first questions you get, or the first responses you get, is why? Why would you leave this place? It's a sticky island. They call it Sticky Island,
yeah.
And it's real. Like, you know, the hype is real. It is a sticky place to leave, and yeah, like it's an amazing place to live. So why would you leave?
Yeah, well, there's the obvious reasons why people leave, which is like visiting family, their home country, or visa runs, shopping trips, all that sort of stuff. You know, like the obvious one. But yeah, I don't know. There's always this tendency, I think, and we're making a video about why would you leave this place, where the whole idea of the channel Rising Nomad and the digital nomad lifestyle that we're coveting is actually about traveling around. But to find a place that you like so much that you just want to stay is such a rare thing, and it's such a special thing. And I think that you have to consider before you leave this place. And if you're watching this and you're considering leaving Koh Phangan, think twice about it. I mean, everybody has different reasons. I mean, so you're leaving tomorrow, right?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
2 days.
Yeah. So
actually tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Tuesday today. So why are you leaving?
I need to leave. I need to leave for the purposes of work and research.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to, just a quick side note. So I'm doing my PhD on digital nomadism.
Yeah.
And digital nomadism was all about freedom. You know, the freedom to kind of to have the autonomy over how you live your life. But in researching this PhD, researching this topic area as a digital nomad, I've had to give up some of my own freedom for the sake of this PhD.
Yeah.
So this is the irony here. I'm researching a community and a lifestyle based fundamentally on freedom, but I've lost some of my freedom along the way in trying to research this. So I'm leaving for the purposes of research. If I didn't have to go to Europe to continue my research and work, I would stay here for sure. And I wanted to ask you, why do you think Koh Phangan is so hard to leave?
Because it's got the magical blend of lifestyle, the magical blend of living in nature while living in a community where there's lots of interesting stuff going on. It's got the magical balance of being a place that has like so many different endless cafes and stuff that you can explore, but it's not overcrowded with people and traffic. Like a lot of people. A friend of mine recently went to Bali, hated it. Why? Just way too much traffic, way too much people. And this place has the balance between everything, the balance between a more European style lifestyle and the perks of living in Asia. And it's just something that I've found traveling around the world. I've been to in growing my business support adventure. I went to Latin America, South Africa, different countries in Southeast Asia, all over Europe and all that sort of stuff. And this is the island that sort of seems to just be me. And so now I'm settled down here as a base. And I was based here for 6 straight months from October until the end of March. And I left. And I was shocked with what I found in the world. So, yeah. What I found in the world at the end of March going back to Europe, I arrived in Belgrade, Serbia. And the reason I went, normally I would go back in May or something, but I was going on tour with my band. We'd been playing around the island here for 3 months, and it was time to go on tour with a band I really respect and admire, Culture Shock, and also great friends of mine. And yeah, we went to Europe, but I was just immediately shocked with the city of Belgrade, where I previously lived before I transitioned to this Koh Phangan lifestyle. I was shocked by, first of all, the weather. The first day was kind of nice, 18 degrees, but then the next days it went down to like 6, 5, 4, whatever. It was snowing in April after 2 weeks. And I was shocked, first of all, leaving this place. Like, freedom to me means not having to wear shoes and socks. Freedom to me means not having to wear long trousers. Freedom to me means going everywhere on a bicycle or a motorbike. And I was shocked that when I got to Europe, it was cold. And I know a lot of people say that they like colder climates or whatever, more than hot or whatever. Well, I don't. I've discovered this myself, and I don't want to compromise this. So I got to Europe at the end of March, and I was super shocked by stuff like, I was staying in an Airbnb there, and I had to go up in an elevator to the 5th floor to get into the building. And that seemed like a hassle. Every time I put on shoes, that seemed like a hassle. Going to the store, putting on a jacket, walking down the street faster than I normally would, seemed like a hassle. Even like, crossing the traffic lights, suddenly a hassle. And so it could be that we've spoiled ourselves here. What do you think?
I think my gut feeling is that if you were to stay in Belgrade for like a month, you would quickly readapt to that style of life, which is the amazing thing about human beings, is that we're so adaptable. Yeah. But I want to ask you as well, just about, you talked about Koh Phangan having the perfect balance of, everything that you need in your life. Presumably there are other islands around the world that have a similar kind of balance. Like they're small, there's things to do, there's cafes, there's people. What is it specifically, do you think, that Koh Phangan has that any other islands with the same kind of layouts and same, amenities and facilities? Does Koh Phangan have something special that...
They talk about the crystals?
Yeah, I mean, it could be the crystals. The ley lines apparently crisscross through this particular part of the planet. Is there something else? Because it's not just the weather, it's not just the community. Well, maybe it is really about the community.
It is about the community. I can 100% say it is about the community of gringos like us who have chosen to make a home. Like gringos, like people who decided to be expats long-term and stuff like that. The more I get into the social scene in the island, there's sort of like the people who are coming and going and making this a part-time home, and the people here who are here pretty most of the time, I don't know, it's like, and they're the ones who are making the restaurants, they're the ones who are making the gyms, the, community centers and all this sort of stuff. And I feel like I might be transitioning into becoming one of those people. But yeah, what is it? It's the community. I mean, it's the fact that this is a small community of people who came here with an intention. It's a small community of people who didn't like something about the outside world. It's nasty out there. There's types of characters out there that you rarely run into here. Like people who are like overly obsessed with money, material objects and stuff like that. I feel that there's a vibe here which is sort of like different than that. And that was one of the things that like drew me to Belgrade, Serbia initially as well. I've long since I feel like grown out of the place as a human being. Like there's nothing more for me to learn there, being there, because I got too close to the culture, learned the language, and had all my experiences, and I saw a few parts of my life which were not driving forward there. But what did attract me to there was the fact, if you meet foreigners there, they're there for the experience of this vibrant culture. It's not like people go to Prague and Budapest and places like that because it's like a place that people go and it's like but if you end up living in Serbia, you're into that certain specific social vibe that's there, that's unique. And so I feel the same thing here. There's a social vibe that's unique. And yeah, you can say that Bali and maybe Tulum in Mexico are similar, but I find that those two places are way too overdeveloped and way too accessible,
I think they're also... I think size matters as well. I think they're too big. Like what I love about Koh Phangan is it's kind of a bounded community. We're on an island, we can only go so far. So we're in the same kind of space. And it's very common here for you to see people that you recognize driving on the other side of the road on a scooter coming the other direction. I actually saw you, I think, the other day.
Yeah, I saw you too.
And it's nice to see...
That's what reminded me that I had to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
You know, it's a community.
It's nice to see those familiar faces, because you feel like you're a part of something. You feel like you're a part of community. And, you know, nomads, essentially all human beings are really looking for some sense of belonging, some sense of community. And the small island, the scale of Koh Phangan, with the community, with everything that's going on with it, helps it feel like a home, helps you feel like you belong, helps you feel like you're seen and you see people. So definitely, I think size, and even the fact that, like, I've always thought the reason why, I mean, I'm not condoning drug taking or anything like that, but the fact that Koh Phangan is an island and cut off from the mainland, there's a certain level of freedom that you can have here as opposed to, you know, Surat Thani. There's something about an island that makes, you know, maybe the police are a lot more lax on what happens there, as long as maybe they're paid or something. There's some, you know, economy going on there. But it's just, yeah, I think the island matters, the fact that it's bounded by sea.
And also there's also the influx of new people all the time as well. Well, you have the solid community here, you have the new people who are coming in all the time. You know, once a month for the full moon parties, all that, you know, kids coming from all over where they're backpacking in Asia to experience this legendary, in my opinion, quite lowbrow entertainment called the full moon party, and, you know, the jungle experience the day before, like, you know, like my band was playing there about 10 days ago, and it's just like, where do all these kids come from? How did they get here? And like, it's like thousands of like 20-year-old British kids just like coming out of thin air, like all of a sudden for this like few days once a month, and they're just like, whoa, this is pretty intense. So I feel it's like, yeah, that mix, yeah, it's a very good mix of people who are just traveling through and people who are setting up a base here. And a lot of us start as the people who are just traveling through, and we end up
stuck.
I mean, I slept in 30 different places in the 2 months I wasn't here. The touring lifestyle is like crazy, you know, it's like the most meaningless, like, for a travel experience. Like, you basically see a club and a hotel, and then you wake up and you drive more to the next club and the next hotel. But you know, as an experience, like artistically, musically, and the social dynamic of actually, that's your job and you're focused on that, just putting on the show every night for a different audience in a different country, that's pretty cool. But it was exhausting, you know? It was exhausting. Parking in cities, you know, putting up with like challenges to the diet that I normally enjoy and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just, yeah, I longed for this place, like, frequently, despite the diversity and intensity of experiences I was having on tour. It was stressful. And then after that, I tried to sort of like relax. Straight off of tour, I went to my house in the countryside of Serbia, about 80 kilometers south of Belgrade, and I chilled out for 3 days. And after that, I was hungry for city. So I went back to the city. And it was like, here you have both of those in one. And there you have, I've got them split into two parts of my life, countryside, city. And here it's like you're in both. You're in both. You're with nature. You don't have winter here. It's just pretty ideal. Yeah, sometimes it's too damn hot. Yeah, there's some snakes and other stuff that might try to eat you or something like that. But this is an ideal place. So then, you know, it was May in Europe, and it was a unseasonably cool May. So about the second week I was there in Belgrade, trying to relax, trying to like ground myself in my previous home city or whatever, where I still have, you know, different places and stuff like that. It started getting cold. And so then I got in, and it was raining. So 11 degrees and raining, and this, I'm like, this is not what I came for European spring. So I immediately like started thinking, I gotta go. And so I ended up going to Morocco, because all of Southern Europe that week had this like sort of cold spell, yeah. Rainy, as some springs do. But yeah, I ended up going to Morocco and having a few nice days in the sunshine there. But it's like, one thing that I noticed in Morocco is this hustle culture that's in a lot of tourist places that you don't really encounter here.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. I was in Bali for a couple of months, and I was in Canggu for a couple of days. I didn't stay in Canggu because it was too intense for me. But like, you were walking down the street in Canggu, you were solicited for like taxi rides, and do you need this, do you need that? You don't get that in Koh Phangan.
Yeah.
Like, so you're a foreigner, you're obviously an outsider. Sometimes you get it maybe in Tongsala where where those pickup trucks are.
Yeah, but they're not pushy.
But they're not pushy. And so it's kind of like, yeah, it's such a great place to be. I think it's funny, like, human beings perhaps require very, very simple things, nice weather, a nice kind of community to belonging. They're ultimately maybe what make us happy. And it's when you remove yourself from the, real world or the world outside there, the city, urban life, and you come to a place like this, you realize I don't really need that much to be happy. But when you go back to those places and those fundamental things or those simple things aren't there, crappy weather and, an anonymous kind of city to plug into.
With honking horns,
yeah,
and stressed out looking
hustle,
people,
yeah.
and like people having arguments. I just felt, I feel that there's like a cultural norm here of being nice to other people and sort of like accepting other people, which is largely, it's okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
Which is largely absent from Europe. And I'm talking about a lot of different countries in Europe, like have like different versions of this sort of aggressive culture, which only when you get away from that and go back to it, you notice, because it gets normalized. As you said, human beings normalize things so much. So I felt like from the UK to Serbia to Germany to like pretty much everywhere, there's this sort of passive aggressive and then aggressive behavior that you see that can be epitomized by honking horns in cities, and it can be summed up by the way people are kind of like going through the motions when you go to a store and buy something. They'll say all the polite things and stuff like that, like thank you very much, have a nice day and stuff like that, but you can see that they're stressed out in their core. And my dad always told me that when I guess 6 or 7 years ago when I started coming to Asia, and I'm like, I think winter is miserable. And when I used to go home for Christmas to Canada, which I haven't done in a while, I think winter is miserable. But my dad would always say, yeah, but that's what made us Europeans strong. This idea of like this European culture where it got, you had to prepare for winter or else you were going to starve, that sort of stuff. And so it made us, sort of like strong, hardworking sort of people that then went on to be a dominant colonial force in the world. Oh, that topic again. And and basically, put a lot of our values. But like my personal perspective is, I busted my ass for years to build a business which is now successful. I want to have a nice, relaxed life, and my whole experience in Europe was not very relaxing at all, and I guess that's my own personal baggage and forcing me to examine it. But I've just noticed since I've been here for 2 weeks just now, I've been so much happier. So what are your plans? Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going to Europe for the summer and then back to Australia.
Stops? Where are you stopping?
Flying into Budapest.
Yeah.
Then traveling to Romania, Timișoara, the western part of Romania, then to Bansko for the digital nomad first.
You're going to that, nice.
Yeah, and then back to Budapest and then to Lisbon. And I'm trying to get excited about going back to Europe because I've loved Europe. I love being there. It's one of my favorite parts of the world. Budapest is one of my favorite cities in the world. But I'm finding it very, very hard to be excited because I really just want to stay here.
Yeah, well, at least you won't have to wear shoes like I did. It would be already the part of the season where flip-flops are in,
Yeah, it should be quite hot there.
So, best of luck on your travels. I hope you get what you need for your research, especially at the Digital Nomad Fest. And let's keep in touch. And I'm going to see you back here. I can already feel it.
I'll be back.
So, thanks a lot, Shaun. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for watching, guys. Rising Nomad channel. I hope you enjoyed this video.